Hello, everyone. I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to another adventure in GregTech New Horizons. So, today we are going to be carrying on from last time, and I think we're going to make our first batteries today, finally. So, last time we made the battery alloy, and we also got a couple of dusts, but we weren't able to make the lithium dust to make the best batteries, which are the lithium batteries, because we needed some new ores, and we need to find a new ore vein. So since last time, I have been out exploring, and I did happen to find that new vein. So if we take a look here at the ore veins, I actually had to look quite far to find this, and it was all the way up here. So we found our salt vein here. We got rock salt, lepidolite, and we also got some spodumene. So we're going to be using some of these in order to get that lithium today, so we can get the lithium batteries, and of course we'll make the other batteries as well to count the quest. But the batteries I think we're really going to want are the lithium batteries, since those are the best ones. So let's go and take a look at the ores. So if we come over here to where I store my ores and do kind of the first step of our ore processing, I think we've already processed a lot of it. Yep, there it is. I've already processed the lepidolite. In fact, I've been spending a lot of time with the ores lately. I've been taking a bit of a deep dive into some of them, and I've been processing quite a few actually down at ore area as well. So we've got quite a few crushed ores in here of various types, but the main one that we're going to want is we're going to want to get the lepidolite and the spodumene ore, because both of these are going to be able to give us some lithium. So if we look at the lepidolite ore, we can process that inside the ore washer. We get a byproduct of lithium. We'd also, from the centrifuge, get a caesium. Interesting, which apparently we can burn that. Interesting. Yeah, smelts 30 items. That's interesting. But we can apparently process that into those two things. The big thing we want is lithium. But we can also use the spodumene as well, because if we look at that one, that gives us alumina in the ore washing plant. And I did get a comment telling me that that is a very important thing we're going to need going into MV. So we will want to stock up on that. But if we go through the centrifuge, we also will get some more lithium as well. So these are the two ores we're really going to want to process as well. And I've been having a look at some other ores as well, and I've been processing some stuff down there. I mean, a lot of stuff. It's quite interesting, actually. So let's go ahead then and grab, I guess we'll grab these. These are the ones we'll process for now. And we did tick off the quest for this as well. Let's go to LV. This was the how to get sodium and lithium. We already have one way of getting sodium, but there will be other ways, I think that one was salt. Yep, salt is the way we get sodium. So we actually have some of that stored. I didn't process that just yet, I don't think. Yeah, we have a little bit of some salt in here. I think we had rock salt somewhere as well. Yeah, this chest is empty. Oh, there's the rock salt right down there, yeah. We got a lot of salt and a lot of rock salt as well. But we do need to go ahead and start processing this. Now, I have made a couple of minor adjustments to our ore processing area as well, because I had an idea on me. So the way we had been doing it, so you see the changes I've probably made already, but the way we had been doing it is we had a better barrel here, which I would pump the ore I want to process. We do it one at a time, and then I had a better barrel here, where we would have our byproduct that we get from the ore washer, so that can be kind of differentiated from the thing that needs to go into the forge hammer. So what I've done instead now is we now just have a normal barrel where I can just kind of throw a bunch of ores in here. I'm not going to do that just yet, because we have to set up the byproducts first. So what we can now do is, because of this, I've added a 2x2 drawer, which means I can now add 4 separate byproducts, meaning I can now run several different ores in here at once. It's not going to process different ores at once, but I don't have to change it out every time I want to do a separate ore now. So what we need, I think it was alumina, and oh, we needed lithium as well. We don't actually have that. So let's actually just do the lepidolite first, because we're going to need to get some. So we need to kind of set that up first. Kind of prep it up, because we don't actually have lithium for the byproduct for this. I do have the alumina. You know, I suppose actually what I could have done is put the spodumene in first, couldn't I? Too late now. I can go ahead and put that in now, though. Put it in here for now. We might as well just put the whole thing in, why not? We'll get lithium at some point. Yep, here comes our first one. I just need to pick that up and then throw that in. But because I've locked this as well, it's also going to stay in there once it gets sucked out, so it'll know what to put in. It looks like things are already going through. Ah, because it's locked, it's not going in there. Yeah, that's right. So the lithium's ended up in here. And now I can just put it right here. So now if we get more lithium, it'll end up being sucked up into here instead of going into the little forge hammer thing here. There we go. We got our lithium, and that should end up resulting in here. And there we go. We get some lithium. So now we just need to get a few more so that we can get... Oh, we need 10 for the quest right there. All right, so while we're waiting on the lithium, then, I think it's time we start making the other batteries as well. So let's go ahead then and head up here. In fact, actually, we need to head back down because we need to grab some of the things we need to make the batteries. So if we come away from the LV Quest chapter and head over here to the storing and transforming, we have these quests here to make the batteries. So we're going to go ahead and try and get these knocked out. We can make a small cadmium battery and small sodium battery. So, in fact, the way we make these, I think we just need 2 dusts and 1 hole. We're only going to make the single for now. We don't need more than 1 of these, I don't think. We're just going to do these to make the quest. The main one we want is lithium, but we should be able to get some of that here pretty soon. Let's go ahead then and grab our small battery holes. So I have made quite a few more of these, by the way. So we now have, what is that, 96 of these. So we're doing quite well. And I believe to do this, is it the canning machine we use? Canna basic canning machine. So it's this guy here. We put you in cadmium, and we'll make that one. And this should be sodium to make the sodium battery as well. Take a look. Yes, there we go. So small cadmium battery. And we have a small sodium battery. So basically what we could do, and that'll kick off the quest there as well, but what we can now do is we can basically put these in our machines, and it would power them. In fact, if I put it here just to test it, we should be able to charge it. Yep, there we go. And again, if this thing were to somehow run out of power or something, it can start draining, I think, from the battery as well. Not that I think we'll have that kind of an issue up here, but yeah, there's a lot of new things we can do with this. It does take quite a bit of time for it to charge up. I might as well charge this one as well. Why not? But the big one's going to be the lithium battery that we're going to want, I think. So let's go see how we're doing on our lithium down here. Let's go to sleep as well since it is nighttime. All right, so let's see. How much lithium have we gotten so far? All right, we're up to 6. Oh, what's this right here? We got the lepidolite as well. And we also got some of this right here. I wonder what this does. So, oh, it's an ingot. Ah, interesting. Mixer, we can make super fuel binder. No idea what that is. Yeah, it is a fuel, though. That's kind of strange, isn't it? All right, we'll put that away. So I have been processing some other ores as well, by the way. Like I said, I've been kind of into it. You know, it's a little bit manual again because I have to do it, but I've made it a little better now that I can actually process multiple at once. Now that I've changed out the better bale for the straw right here. But it looks pretty nice. I'm happy with how this setup is when we made it. Quite good. And we have this giant wall of dust over here now. But yeah, it is quite interesting. And some of these, like I've said before, do process further. Like the vanadium magnite, you get vanadium and magnite out of that in a centrifuge. There was this one right here, the garnet sand. This is an interesting one, actually. So, first of all, you'll notice that giant kind of chemical stuff right there. So, the chemical formula for this, it's a giant thing right there. And what I've also noticed is another thing as well. If we look at some of these, let's see if I can find a good one. Tetrahedrite. So, I figured out, actually, now, I'm no chemist, by the way, but if we look kind of at the little, like, chemical formula you have in these dusts, it kind of gives you a little bit of a hint at what you can actually get from these if you want to process these dusts further. So, for example, the tetrahedrite right here, we've got some stuff, and if I look at the centrifuge recipe, you'll see we get, for 8 tetrahedrite, we get 3 copper, 1 antimony, 3 sulfur, and 1 iron, and if you look at the little chemical formula, you'll see it has 3 copper, the 1 antimony, and then we get the 3 sulfur, and then we would get 1 iron. So, kind of gives you a little bit of a hint at what you would get out of this. But this one right here is really interesting, because look at the formula for this thing, and if you look at its uses, this garnet sand, which I think it comes from, there's a vein for it, garnet sand, I'm trying to remember what it was, I think it was tin? Nether star vein, not that one. Yeah, tin vein, that's the one. We get our tin from there, so we get some garnet sand when we go for tin. But we look at the uses for this, it's quite interesting because you can centrifuge this into this red and yellow garnet stuff. And then with this red and yellow garnet, I found you can centrifuge this into a whole bunch of weird stuff here. Pyrope dust, almandine, spessartine. No idea what these are, but they seem to have some various things. I see they all seem to have aluminium and oxygen. So, and then some other various things as well. But then if we look at the yellow garnet, it also gives us some other weird stuff as well, like andradite, rossula, uvarovite, a whole bunch of weird stuff. But anyways, all of that I get from this one dust right here. I could get it. I've only processed it down to the red and yellow garnet so far. Can we actually process it further right now if we want to? Yeah, it is LV. It does take a while, though. But I might do that. I don't know how useful it is, but I'm sure you can process... Well, I'm sure we can process these other things as well into things like the pyrope dust. Yep, MV electrolyzers. A lot of these things need MV, although you could centrifuge. No, we don't have that. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff right there. So yeah, it's an interesting little stuff you can do with ore processing. All right, looks like we got the lithium we need now. So we need 10 for the quest, and I'm going to make as many of these batteries as I can, because lithium batteries seem like they're going to be quite valuable, I think. Because we'll be able to do some other stuff with them as well. So we did knock those out, so now we make the lithium battery. And I'm going to grab... we have enough for 5 at the moment. And put you there, and put the lithium, and that should start making us some lithium batteries. Nice. How are these looking here? Okay, you're fully charged. You're fully charged. So, right now it seems like that's going to be the best way we can charge our batteries as well, because we have to charge them as well. There we go, we got our small lithium batteries. I can just go ahead and start throwing those in here. We can start charging them up. Although I think there are also the battery buffers as well. Yeah, this guy right here. So we would be able to, I think I mentioned this before as well. Now that we have the batteries, we would be able to start trying to centralize our power. But I was thinking about that a little bit. Well, I say centralize again, but the problem is, if I would only have one input to this, we would have bigger cable loss, I think. So I don't think that's actually a good idea for this. So I don't think I would add batteries to this setup up here, because I think that would actually be a little bit worse, because we would have more cable loss. I was thinking about that. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what we do with the batteries. Of course, we'll have to use it, I think, when we want to go for oil. And there's some other stuff, actually, as well we can use with this as well, because, let's see, there was a quest I was looking at. This one here, yes, Auto Miner. Because now we can actually make something called a basic miner, which I think can mine for us, and we'd have to, of course, power that from far away, so batteries would be a perfect thing to use for that as well. Alright, so there's some more of these. In fact, we'll keep some in there for now. I think we're charging up 3 of these right now. So, yeah, we got a couple of good things coming in there. Let's see if we've got any more lithium as well. Go pop back down here. Because I'm going to want more of these batteries, because they will be useful still, I think. There we go, we got 12 more. Make more batteries. And they're not just going to be used, though, for powering things, but they will also be quite useful, I think, in order to make some important items. And there is one item I do want to make today that I think is going to be quite good. No, I don't see why we can't just have a stack of these small battery holes in this canning machine here and just keep them there. Yeah, I don't see why we can't do that, honestly. That'll make us some more batteries. So, there is something else I wanted to try and make, and... Oh, actually, there was a few other batteries I want to make as well, wasn't there? Let's see. If we go back here, there's these right here. These are single-use ones. We don't really need them, but they are a quest, and you know how it is with me with quests. I want to complete them. So, I think, yeah, there's some things we have to do to unlock them. We have to go back to LV, but it's these right here, I believe. It was sulfuric acid and mercury. Now, mercury, I was taking a look at this before. Mercury actually isn't going to be too difficult, I don't think. I think it was something we already had. Yep, cinnabar you can use. You could also use a redstone as well. You get some stuff from that. This isn't a centrifuge, by the way, but you can use cinnabar. It's a little quicker. And I think we only need like 1 mercury battery right now for the quest. I don't think I need any one-time use batteries. I don't really see the use for that, but that seems pretty easy. In fact, I think we'd need to process down our cinnabar. Let's go take a quick peek at that. I think I was preparing some cinnabar as well. Because I don't think I've processed it yet. Let's see, ruby. Here's some cinnabar. We don't need much either. We just need a tiny amount. See how the... Well, in fact, let's just take the whole thing. Why not? I already forgot that we can process multiple ores at once, can't we? So, we might as well add that to the queue over here. How are we doing over here, by the way? Yeah, we still got quite a bit. I wonder if I could just replace all this with cinnabar. Well, let's see what we get from the byproduct. Ah, you get redstone from that. Okay, so we need to grab a piece of redstone to add to that. Let's go quickly do that, and then we'll get that cinnabar off and running. I might try and fast-track that through there so we can get a quick bit. Oh, where's the redstone? It's over here. I just need one so we can put that in the barrel. Because that way I can quickly make that mercury battery, because that was another one that I wanted to do just for the quest. So let's go ahead and just do this. That should fast-track you along. Put that redstone right there. And you should be off and running once this finishes. We should get a little bit of mercury. Oh, it has to wait for this to empty out first. There it goes. Okay, so we'll get some eventually. We're getting the cinnabar, though. That's the important thing. But we have to process the cinnabar again. There's the redstone in there. Right, so that's how we're doing all of that. So while we're waiting on that, then let's go do something else. Because I want to make something, actually, I think that's going to be quite useful to us here. So this is what I want to make. I want to make this item dislocator a magnet, which is going to be, I think, a huge upgrade for us. So what we need for this is we're going to need some magnetic steel. Okay. So let's see. I don't think we have any of that. In fact, I think it was magnetic steel blocks. Find iron. Or just a block of steel. Right. Okay, we can do that. We only need 16. Then I think it actually said we need a little bit more magnetic steel. We need 4 ingots worth. Right, so we're going to need to use the polarizer for that. That's a mixer. We need 2 steel blocks. Put you in here. Shouldn't take too long, I don't think. 4.5 seconds, not long at all. Why did I only get 1? Oh, why did I put 16? What am I doing? It's a block. Why did I don't know what I'm thinking. Alright, let's put these in here. Alright. You were probably yelling at me about that one. I don't know why I was thinking 16. It was 9 per block, of course, not 8. Alright, so there we go. That should be our second block of steel, and I can probably put those into there. Which is the polarizer. That does take a minute per, right. Alright, so where are we going to store batteries at? That's another good question. I guess we can put them with the cells. I guess we can put them... Yeah, that's a good spot to put them for now. Although they don't stack either, do we? Maybe... what if we put them in a chest? Yeah, well, actually, for now, we can put them with this. I put my GregTech stuff in here. Oh, we forgot we had this sodium battery as well, didn't we? Oh, we got that from a, it was a quest. I think we also got, yeah, that guy, a low-voltage battery buffer. Yeah, I forgot about those. Alright, so we're gonna get these. So, the reason we can now make this is we now have the small lithium battery. In fact, it doesn't need to be charged either, which is a good reason why we have some of those. We need that. We're waiting for you to come in, and we already have that. Alright. So we'll wait for those to come in, and then let's go head on down here and see how that mercury's coming along. Oh, not what are we making down here? Cinnabar, I think it was, trying to get mercury. There we go. We've got 24 cinnabar dust. And processing it in here. Oh, it does take quite a while. 37.2 seconds. Alright, well, I think we've got a centrifuge upstairs. I think we just need 1 mercury cell for this quest, and then we can make the battery, I think, from that. So, we just need 1 bit. I think it was 2 cinnabar. That's all we need for this. Right, so let's go ahead upstairs and use that. We can get that little single-use mercury battery made. Again, not sure why we really need this, but we might as well make it. Yep, there's a centrifuge. Put you in. Oh, you take 46.4 seconds as well. How are you doing? All right, we're about to get that. We'll be able to make our magnet in a bit. That's going to be quite good. Should be getting that any moment now. There it is. So the block of magnetic steel, 4 magnetic steel ingots. And that should be a magnet. Or item dislocator. Okay. So that is an item dislocator. Which is a quest. And I think we need to shift to activate it. Yep, looks like it is. Is there like a bobble slot I can put this in? Valid slot? I guess it is. Yeah, I guess I can put it in any one of these. So does it work? So how would it work? I think we just like drop an item, we pick it up. Yeah. I'm trying to throw that torch and it's just picking it up. Now, I could see, though, how this would be kind of annoying in certain instances, though. But in other instances, it could be quite useful. In fact, we could probably test it out. It is nighttime, actually. We could do a little bit of mob fighting just to kind of test out how it works. You know, pick up the item. So let's grab the... What is it? The Hunter's Backpack. I do this sometimes, but let's give it a little bit of a test run here. Just to kind of see how it works. So sometimes at night, I come out here, and we have a lot of darkness over there, so mobs tend to spawn. Usually, I do it mostly during a blood moon, so there won't be as many mobs, but yeah, there's a couple, so sometimes the zombies kind of see me, but... Oh, no, that's not a guy over there. That was a flower. See if I can see one on the map. Let's turn those ores off as well. There's not too many out right now. Let's take a look. Yeah, I usually do this during a blood moon, so there's a lot more people around. Here we go. Here comes someone. So, I just shoot at him. Yeah, nice. So it picks it up from further out. That's quite good. You know, actually, it might be a little bit better. I've got some potions to spare. Let's drink a night vision potion, actually, and try this. Should have some night vision potions lying around. We can give it a better shot that way. Yeah, we got plenty of these right now. Alright, we'll take one of those. Do we have anything less than 8 minutes? Oh, we have a splash. Ah, that's a good one right there. 2 minutes 15. Splash potion. So, give us that. Now we have night vision, and let's go take a look. A little easier to see in the dark now. So, let's see. That looks like a creeper right there. Yep, got him. Basically, what it will do, yeah, you can hear it's picking it all up from further out now. Got him. Yeah, this is quite useful. What if I can get this guy? Ah, I got him. Yeah, so this is quite useful. It's picking everything up from further away now, so this is quite nice. Yeah, some guys right there. Someone's coming as well. You are. There we go. Do need to be careful. Don't want anyone to set anything on fire around here. But... yeah, as you can see, I'm picking everything up now. At least from further out. Ooh, hello. What is that? Okay, that was interesting. It looked like a cat was coming after me. That was really strange. Alright, let's not push our luck too much. Let's try and pick up some of these things over here. Alright, I think that's enough fun with the mobs for one night. Little bit of an experiment there. What did we get out of that, actually? Nothing too much, actually. I've been doing this, like I said, a couple of times, especially during Blood Moons. Let's pick this guy off right here, why not? In fact, I think, oh, there's a creeper right there. Can I get him? Oh, he's still going, I think. There we go. Oh, that's the end of the night vision potion, isn't it? Alright, well, I'm not going to risk myself going into the pitch dark over there. So that's probably fine for now. But, yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. In fact, now that we're done with that, we can probably go to sleep as well. But yeah, that's just a little bit of testing out that magnet. It certainly seems to be a lot better since I'm picking things up from further out. And actually, I just thought of another good idea for that as well. When I go and farm stuff over here, I have to run around sometimes to get the things. So like these peanuts here, when I grab these, it should all come right to me now. Yeah, that's quite good. Oh, we just completed a quest. Biodiesel alternative. Let's take a look. I didn't know there was a quest for that. Biodiesel alternative. Where would that be? Ah, bio for the masses. Oh, this quest here. Ah, for some reason I thought we needed envy for that. Oh, wow, we get an envy loot bag? Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know we had that unlocked yet. Yeah, I think this is meant for envy. I mean, it gives us an envy loot bag, huh? All right, well, we actually completed a quest for that. Got us an envy loot bag. I can do the same with the cotton, I think, as well, right here. Yeah, pick it all up. Yeah, this is quite good. This magnet's quite good. I got recommended this a couple of times, so I'm quite glad we got it. It does seem quite useful. But I could still see, though, how it could be annoying in other instances, I guess. But it seems like the pros outweigh the cons for the most part. All right, let me put these peanuts over here for now. We can get some more seed oil. There we go, and then let's go ahead then and drop off this cotton as well. All right, so I think we were trying to get some mercury. Did we get any? Yes, we did. We need a cell for that. To count for the quest, I believe it was. So there you go. There's one cell, and then I think we can pick up the mercury. There we go. Mercury cell. There is a quest for mercury there. So if we come up to here, that was that one. And now we should be able to make that single-use battery, I think it wants right here. Single-use battery for mercury. So we just need to give a small battery hole, and we need a fluid canner for that as well. All right, so we'll grab one of you, and I think we set that up here. Fluid canner. Yep, and there we go. That should be our single-use mercury battery. So I guess I guess the good thing about these, it's single-use, but it comes pre-charged. So the reusable ones you have to charge up, but the single-use ones are already charged. Wonder where the charge comes from then. Does it come from like the mercury itself or something? I don't know. But that was interesting. All right, so we got that then. And there was one more here, which was acid, but I don't actually think we can make that one just yet because we need sulfuric acid. And I think for sulfuric acid, we need to do a couple of steps. It's actually quite involved, I think. I think we needed, sulfur trioxide and water, but to make this, we needed sulfur dioxide, which needs also oxygen, which we haven't made that yet. But I think we're going to need to make that soon because we're going to need a couple of gases coming up soon for oil processing, actually. So, yeah, sulfur dioxide itself comes from sulfur and oxygen. So it's a lot of oxygen we need for that. So we're not going to be able to quite make that just yet. So let's put that away. And you can go in here for now. So that's that. Now, there were a couple other batteries as well that we could make. Yeah, this one right here, the electrotine battery is another one, but we don't have the electrotine for that. Now, there is a way to make it in a mixer, combining electrum and redstone, but you need MV. But there is an ore for it, so electrotine ore, and I believe that is found in the nether somewhere. No, not that one. Not that one. This one right here, electrotine vein. So I might go out looking for that at some point so we can knock out this quest. This isn't really a battery we need too much, but it's, let's see, electrotine battery is exclusively used in Project Red machines and the jetpack. Ooh, that sounds interesting, jetpack. Oh, we might give that a shot at some point. And then there was one other battery I think I saw. This one right here, the IC2 battery. So the RE battery, a few recipes require IC2 batteries. Fill your small battery hole with some molten redstone and you'll get an RE battery. Right. Fluid can, a molten redstone, right, so just a little bit of redstone there. I guess we can make that as well, why not? Seems pretty easy to do. We just need to, fluid extractor, let's see. Take you out. Yeah, put those in there. And then we need a large cell. I can just use that to move you along. I think we put you in the fluid cannon. That should make that battery as well. Go. Put you in there. That was extremely quick. We get an RE battery. I don't know how we would charge this one, though. Well, I guess we don't really need to charge it anyways. I think it's just used to make these items here. Which we don't really need, but I'll probably make them at some point, like the electrico. Yeah, I guess we don't need to charge these. There we go. We got another quest done, another battery made up. So we got some batteries, some we haven't made yet, but we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting the badge. Let's get those peanuts running again. So I think that is pretty much the main things we wanted to get done today. Put you back in here for now. And yeah, I think that was the main stuff for today. So I think before we end off, we're going to do... Well, we need to claim our quest rewards and open up our loot bags. That's what we're going to do. So let's take a look. We did get quite a few quests knocked out, so let's see what we get. So IC2 battery, we get some redstone dust and some bread and some coins. Mercury gives us some cinnabar ore and quicksilver and more coins. The magnet gets, ooh, an enchanted LV loot bag. Okay, that sounds interesting. We got this one here, but we don't need these. I've already eaten those, so we'll just take the loot bag for you. The lithium quest gives us a coleslaw burger and some more coins. And then was anything else there? No. And then we also did this quest chapter. We got some stuff done here. So I can get Mercury cell. That's pretty easy to get. All that's pretty easy to get. We'll just do the loot bag for that. Cadmium dust. Yeah, pretty simple. We'll just take the loot bag. Lithium dust. Yeah, we know how to get more of that. In fact, how much did we end up getting? Are we still processing that? While we're going down here, let's dump off some of these coins as well. Because they are going to start clogging up our inventory a little bit. Let me just quickly check. I haven't actually seen how much of that we got. What else did we get? Explore, blacksmith. That one right there. There we go. That's better. So let's go see. How much lithium dust do we have right now? What are we still doing down here? You're processing the lepidolite right now. Lepidolite. And we have 42 lithium dust. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, that's quite good. So, I might do some experiments with those batteries. I know I said I wasn't going to set anything up down there anymore, but... Well, we'll see. There might be some use. Well, we'll have to see. It kind of depends, I suppose. And also, this magnet we set up, it doesn't seem like it needs a charge or anything. It seems like it's... Yeah, it doesn't seem like it needs to be charged. At least there's no indication of it. Anyways, let's keep going with these quests. So we don't need lithium dust. We'll just take another loot bag, and then... The sodium battery, again, yeah, looks like another loot bag. So quite a few loot bags today. And I think we got another one done as well. Was the, yeah, the bio for the masses. I didn't expect to complete that. Apparently the peanuts were enough to do that, and we get an MV loot bag. All right, that's gonna be an interesting one. Right, we don't get many MV loot bags at this stage. We've had a couple. In fact, that's how we got those. We got like a really early MV loot bag at like the beginning. Well, not the beginning, but it was right when we started the Steam Age and we got MV circuits. Why we got an early circuit assembler, I believe. That was quite a good one, so maybe we'll get more MV circuits if we're lucky out of this guy right here. But let's put these coins away because our inventory is quite full. And we have quite a few loot bags to open up. So, put these away. And let's put you away. I can put the rest of the stuff in here for now, actually. In fact, let's just put all that in here. There we go, that'll be fine for now. I'll sort that out later, and we can go ahead and open up our loot bags for today, I think, to end off. Well, where should we do it at, actually? Let's actually go, I get an idea. Let's open them up somewhere today. Let's do it in the kind of planning room, why not? Make it a little bit more interesting since we've got quite an interesting assortment today. Can we open them up while we're sitting down, in fact? Let's see. We'll start with the normal LV ones. In fact, let's actually empty all this stuff out. Yeah, let's do it like that. We'll see what we get. Let's see, can I open them up while I'm sitting down? I can. All right, so we got a first one. We got a pig and horse spawn egg. All right, a second one. We got cheeseburger and hearty breakfast. We got just a normal circuit board, some tin cables, and ooh, we got a steel wrench. All right, so nothing too good out of those. So we got but these are the ones I'm interested in, the enchanted LV loot bag. Let's see what we get. This should be a good one. We got a fan and vacuum tubes. Well, the vacuum tubes are useful at least, but fan, maybe that's useful, I don't know. We've gotten a couple of those, though. All right, so now the big one for this one, the MV loot bag. So let's hope we get something good out of this one. Here we go. Oh, we got farm gearbox and 4 resistors. So nothing too good out of that. But we gave it a good shot at least. So yeah, that was an interesting episode. We got our first batteries, a couple of other quests completed, a couple of interesting things happening today. But yeah, that was an interesting episode. So I think that's where we're going to leave this one off at. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.